This video is brought to you by the energy team at Atlas, a vertically integrated EV technology ecosystem company. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and you join me stuck at a charging station. Not only a Tesla supercharging station, but also an Electrify America charging station, not able to charge. And I thought I'd make a video because I've spent the last few days in California and it is a whole nother ball game out here when it comes to owning an EV. And honestly, I don't think I can recommend owning an electric car in this state, just based off of some of the things I'm seeing, some of the trends that I'm noticing. It's pretty insane. So let's start with the issues here at this charger. This supercharger just went completely offline. And we also have major issues at the EA station across from me over here. I'll show you the car I'm driving, talk about the situation, and some friends of mine are just coming back from the Tesla takeover. We tried to plug in their car to the supercharger, wouldn't work. Some viewers of ours over here at EA, everyone's pissed, from Tesla to all the other brands. It's not looking good to own an electric car today. I hate to make these negative posts, but it's important that people realize that, hey, owning an EV is still a bit of the Wild West. So currently you join me over here at Electrify America, and there's 2 of 4 stations working. All is okay-ish. That entire bank of superchargers when I arrived was nearly full, rocking, cranking out the speeds. Everyone was charging, and now is completely offline. I'll actually insert a clip right here of my friend Troy, who I met just now, who basically, we tried to get his car to charge. Take a look at this. Guys, I'm here with Troy. Hey, Troy, we're rating your charge
Yeah.
at the supercharger and not working at all. So the whole row, everyone's just hosed right here.
The good news is I have plenty of charge to get to the next one.
That's good news. Well, hopefully someone has a CCS adapter and we can get a long line forming over there.
This one's too old for that one.
Right, no, same with my Model 3, yeah.
So.
The retrofit's coming soon, but man, I've never seen a whole supercharging station go offline just like that before.
Sad but true. I'm going to have to rate it.
Yeah, we're going to rate it a 0 out of 10.
Right so.
First time ever for a supercharger? Close to,
Yeah.
Probably.
First time for me, for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. So a bit of a shame that it's not able to charge any cars over there. I've never seen a whole supercharger site just go offline. And it's not really because the whole area lost power. Taco Bell still has power. These EA chargers still have power. And happy to report actually that 2 of 4 Electrify America chargers are working. Now, when I got here, there was a line of CCS cars, but we let some of our friends come through here. We have some viewers here in the Mach-E. What was your name again?
Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. And just doing a quick top up here in the Mach-E. Love to see it. And now we have a Bolt pulling in who's definitely not going to be able to charge over there. So the Rivian originally pulled into this spot to charge on number 3. This unit here doesn't actually recognize at all that cars are plugged in whatsoever. The unit on the end is completely offline. One of the old ABBs shows not as available. And so really we're down to 2 stations here. And yeah, before Ryan got here, there was an ID4, of course, doing one of their 100% charges, as ID4 owners do. And now we're just kind of hosed in the middle of Bakersfield. So let me walk you around what's going here right now. I have the i7 pulled off to the side because I was actually going to do a range test with it. This is where I typically start all of my range tests here in California. You can see the Bolt owner pulled in is trying to get that 3rd charger to work. It's not going to happen. The connector just doesn't work and we're kind of hosed. Ryan's just juicing up the Mach-E a little bit and the Rivian's going to be good to go. So we'll actually be fine over here. It's a guy doing some 2-step in his N55 3 Series over there. Actually sounds freaking awesome. And I love that. The whole supercharger is offline though. So you can see people are pulling in, they're looking confused, they don't know where to go, and me either. I really don't want to do 100% charge here in the i7 and block a whole bunch of people traveling through. That would just leave 1 CCS plug available and the rest not. So yep, let's see what's going on over here. All of these are kind of down, not on power. Only 2 of 4 are working at the moment. Yep, so we got a line forming for it.
Okay, where?
Yep, so it's the i7 and then the Bolt, and then that'll be you right there. So welcome to figuring all this out. Let's jump in the i7 and figure out the California problem. Yeah,
there's 150 here.
Yeah, but it's 33 miles. You have 4 left.
7 miles from here.
Oh, 7 miles. Okay. Well, you might be able to go a bit below 0.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna try it.
All right, so he has 4 miles remaining. He's gonna go 7 miles to the next charger because the supercharger died. And I told him there's a couple kilowatt hours hidden, but climb it off and go really slow. So that's his plan over there. So just on this situation that we're dealing with here in Bakersfield, the Bolt that arrived cut the line, plugged in, and now can't get his car charging over here. You know, he just was looking confused, but just totally cut in front of everyone. And we were all like, what the heck are you doing? Like, that don't charge. We're just waiting here. I'm at 15%. So yeah, I can make it to another station. I think I will. And, but the other guys here, oh man, that's not cool. So a couple things I'm noticing in California just today. I picked up the i7 from BMW. I'm just inching forwards a little bit here to see what's going on at the supercharger. I picked up the i7 today at BMW. Yep, supercharger still not functioning. You can see everyone's looking around. They don't know what to do. Hands waving. Confusion ensues. Sorry for the bad camera angle. So basically, yes, was picked up the i7, went to La Cañada Flint Ridge, which is where I always actually go when I pick up media vehicles. That's the first charging stop. It's an old BTC 3-stall. And, you know, it's right at the base of the hills. I love to drive Angeles Crest Highway and all the roads in the area. And I thought, that's a good base point. Picked up the i7. Let's go there. And was just completely full of ID4s. All of them local, all Pasadena purchased at the local Volkswagen dealer. Then as I'm waiting, 2 more ID4s pull up, also waiting for their local charges. Now a Polestar 2 is arriving, and I'm definitely gonna go find a different charging station because it's crazy here. So basically I had to wait almost an hour to get out of that charging station, and I only charged to about 50% because the charger I charged on was derating power from 30 kilowatts to 90 to 130, back to 30, all over the place. It was just crazy. So that was a poor charging experience. I did a rate your charge on Twitter, and I really think, you know, giving away free charging programs disincentivizes good charging behavior. My friend Tom Bologna made a great video talking about how free charging sucks, and pretty much everyone we looked at there was clogging up the station for local charging. Now, I'm not sure if it was because they're trying to save a few dollars on their electricity at home, or they just have no way to charge at home or work. But to be totally honest, if you cannot charge at home or work, do not buy an electric car today. Just don't. That you should not rely on public infrastructure to charge your car. You know, maybe find a different place to live. Honestly, if you really want to drive EVs, but it's not worth the hassle to everyone else or yourself having to go publicly charge your car as your only means of charging. It's pretty rough, actually, if you do that. Now, if you live in Kansas City and Denver, maybe you can get away with it because there's a lot of public charging right now, but especially here in California, it's just insane. Really insane how many people have bought EVs recently and how few charging locations have gone in. It's just a massive disparity. So, I want to talk a little bit about yesterday. I drove the Model S Plaid from Colorado to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to San Diego, and then up to LA. Not one charging issue, all was great. Just yesterday, I was at a supercharger in San Diego at some mall, Fashion Valley, I believe it was. There were 48 superchargers, huge installation. And then in that same parking lot, between EA and EVgo, there were only 5 CCS stations. So it's still definitely numbers wise shows buy a Tesla if you need to publicly charge, because at least the superchargers are available. They're not cheap, but they work pretty well. Aside from the one behind me here, I've never actually seen a whole station go offline. They must have tripped a fuse or a main breaker or something, because there's power in the area. That's not the issue. Pretty wild, actually. So yeah, I think California, let's just talk about the problems as a whole, not so much what I've experienced. The first bit is we're noticing a huge uptake of electric cars and not many new charging stations going in. We've all heard of the NEVI funding, different state programs, things like that have been coming along. However, most of those funding programs we won't see the benefit for another 2 years down the road at minimum. It takes a long time to put chargers in the ground, to get the sites permitted, to get the equipment purchased, to get the power run and commissioned by the utility. It's a really long and complicated process. And so I think this problem is only going to get worse over the years. I've been saying that for a while. So there's not enough chargers compared to electric vehicles. B, there's not enough of a focus on level 2 installations or even home charging or condo charging or multi-unit dwelling, however you want to call it. There's not enough of a focus there, and a lot of that is very individualized problems, power limitations, and I think we really need to see a big push to actually getting cars charged slowly in a higher number of spots than also just increasing fast chargers. Fast chargers should just be for road trips. So that's pretty annoying, of course. And then next really is just the way people are treating each other out here. It's wild. In Colorado, you know, maybe EVs are still new, where it's still the enthusiast club, right? Like, I recognize some of the people when I'm out charging and we chat, and you know, it's a little bit of a camaraderie. You know, if you're first to pull up to a charger and wait, no one's going to try and skip around you in line. But here it's very much a free-for-all. It's like jamming vehicles in to cut the line to get your charge, charging to 100%. Very common. I'm seeing people charging to 100% on their cars. I don't know why, because there's chargers in every direction, whichever way you go. And for the most part, you're doing local charging. So save your car's battery, save your time, and stop charging to 100%, but this is really becoming a thing. So spending time in California really opens a window to what maybe EV ownership or adoption will look like at a larger scale in the country coming up. And it has me a bit nervous. I'm actually really like, don't buy an electric car if you live in California, unless you can charge at home, which if you can't, do not buy an electric car here, because wow, it's crazy. But the people are not understanding the technology. They're frustrated. They're in a rush. They're charging to 100%. And it leaves the people who are using the network properly, you know, DC fast charging for trips, for superchargers, and for public CCS chargers, it kind of leaves everyone, you know, at a disadvantage. So, man, I think it's just interesting to make a video that 2 of 4 Electrify America stations are working, so half the station is online. I consider that a fail. 1 of the 3 doesn't recognize that cars are being plugged into it, and it's not communicating that through the app. The Chatham Oak and CCS station, the old ABB, is completely offline. That they know about that one. I don't think they knew about the other one until this video will go up. And then crazy that the Supercharger just died after I arrived here. That really left a whole bunch of Tesla owners in a panic. I've actually never seen anything like that before. So I think in terms of building resiliency into chargers, here's what I ask of charge point operators. Really, I'm putting this at the end of the video, but it's the most important bit. We need grid buffer, some sort of battery backup, diesel generator, doesn't matter, just something in case these chargers go down, because people are relying on this hardware installed to actually get around, whether it's to see family, for medical emergencies, traveling just to see the country, whatever it might be. It's not like there's always another one down the street. Just in view here, there's multiple fueling stations and only 1 parking lot with charging stations in it, which is a bit of a shame. Secondly, I think there's a lot that can be done for improving uptime or metrics as to seeing if your chargers are or aren't working. For example, this EA station here, how would they know that that handle isn't activating other cars? And to be honest, I think there might need to be some more measures as to measuring if chargers are functional or not. From a software perspective, it can only detect so much. From a hardware perspective, there doesn't seem to be sensors or some sort of monitor to say, hey, this handle is broken or it's non-functional. We've seen the clips on chargers start to break. We've seen them just completely exploded on the ground and the charger showing as available. And so I would say many of the charging issues are because of cable and handle related problems, and none of those seem to be logged in the software and mark the charger as offline. Unless a user reports them through Rate Your Charge on Twitter. We've seen great success with that. So again, the 2 asks at the end of the video are better reliability and power support. Stop relying on crappy grid if that's truly what sent the Supercharger offline. And B, better measurement as to whether or not the chargers are or aren't working. And that's going to require close collaboration with hardware manufacturers and charge point operators to really stop looking at the money side of things and say, what do we need to do to make a good customer charging experience? And that goes far beyond just delivering power. It goes into everything else there. Pretty crazy, actually. So my recommendation today is, if you live in California and can't charge at home, don't buy an electric car. really, this is just going downhill so fast. And maybe I'm just seeing a bad day, a glimpse into this, but every time I come to California, and I come at least once a month, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. The problems are just blowing up, and the amount of charging infrastructure is not there to keep up with the amount of EVs coming on the market. Crazy. And more Teslas pulling in, looking confused. What a shame. Truly a disaster, actually. There's a whole bunch of Teslas here. Just everyone's just standing around behind me. I don't know if you can see that. Just crazy. See you in another Out of Spec Reviews video soon. Bye-bye.